welcome back to episode 2 of our Let's Play on Thornton Farm. So here we are, we're actually going to do something in this episode. So what happened is, well, somebody left a comment saying solid fertiliser is actually at the cow farm. I think this is it, but thanks for the comment. What else? There's been quite a few things. I've been doing a couple of things with course play. This field is in barley. I actually recorded this, then got sidetracked and with something that was coming past the window, and then I opened the window because it was the bloke down the road that has the 35. He was pulling his loader tractor, which is a oh god, what is it now? It's a Russian tractor. I can't remember its exact what it actually is. But it's got a bit of a diesel leak on it somewhere and it's causing it not to start, so we've kind of just dragged it up his field a bit. But I got really sidetracked with that and the video then went to about an hour because I accidentally closed the recording without stopping it. And I was like, I'm not going to edit this, so I'm just starting again. So this field is in barley. I did say I don't think we're going to do field 29. We've got two fields. One in barley, one in canola. That should be that's a fair amount to harvest. We aren't. I mean, we could do a field of soybeans. I think soybeans. Yeah, I think soybeans can actually be done. Yeah, we're on 6 days. So let's fire this little baby up. Right, so I have found a bulldozer mod, which I'll show you. What's this? Oh, these are the diggers as well. There's a set of diggers. For some reason that one doesn't do anything because it's actually got a claw on it. This is the shovel one. It shovels everything. So we're probably not going to get it because it's not much use to it, but I've just got it in the game. I don't know why I've got it in the game. It's just in the game. I might take it out. Right, so the bulldozer is in these mods. Should be... there it is. So T100, and then you've got the dozer bit at the front. This pushes everything, so this will push silage, and this is 160 horsepower. It's actually a really nice model. It's actually... the inside's not too great, but the outside's really good. So we could get that. I mean, it's only 17,000, so it's only... so it's only about £19,000 for the two. I had to work that out then. I did get a comment that said, I had a comment to say, you know, can you not do 60 times 3? No, I can't. Because as you can see there, I can barely put 2 on it. I've just cranked up the settings on the speaker that's right in front of me, so I can at least hear the game. So I know what I'm doing and what things are sounding like. So this thing should plant soybeans. It could run out. This field is ploughed. We're not going to cultivate. We're just going to leave it ploughed. So we need. Do we want to do a course by course this field? It's a fair sized field. This is the only issue. Well, so I was testing a few things on courseplay. That's what I was talking about, courseplay. And what I was doing is, I was getting the forage harvester, recording a windrow course, right? And then setting the forager to follow it. You know, so it was literally just following it. And I tell you what, it actually worked surprisingly well. It will go around corners. And it'll just keep going till there's literally nothing left on the ground, and then it stops when you're full, which is really handy if you want to do silage, grass silage on your own, which that's the route we may go down. So we might do silage bales first time round, and then wait. Sorry, I'm trying to set this tractor up so that get courseplay to work with it. Right, so if you want to do courseplay, right click, we've got it in settings, so you get all these little button things here. So that's grain transport, that's combine unload, that's overload, that's spray and seed. That's field work mode, so that's cultivators, ploughs and everything else. That's manure transport, and that is fill and empty, and that is levelling and compacting. I have never used levelling and compacting, so I don't know how to use it. So let's take this tractor out of reverse. I want to be in third. Really crack it up. Get going. Sorry if you can hear your brother shouting. He just can't talk to his friends. He has to scream his tits off. So yeah. Well, we'll seed this. It shouldn't take too long, but I'm not too sure. It could take a fair whack. And then, well, that's 2 money crops put in the ground anyway. Sunflowers should grow the exact same time as barley and the canola, because canola and barley are pretty much ready, almost right next to each other, I think. But I'm trying to do this from memory. I'm not too sure. It could be, or canola comes into season first. I'm not too sure, but you know, we'll see once we get there. We have to wait till autumn anyway before we can harvest it. So you know, we've got the entirety of early spring to get. We've got the entirety of spring, summer to get through yet before we can even harvest. So you know, we've got mowing to do and bits and bobs. So yeah, I was doing the cosplay thing, so we might go down that route. We could potentially go down that route and get a forage harvester and do it that way. We could do maize as well, but then that takes up a field. That takes up, you know, an actual field like this. Which, if we're going to pay about 400,000 for an actual forager, you know, you don't want to be paying. You don't want to be putting that in your field. You want to put it in a grass. Personally, I want to put it in like have it in grass fields and just make it that way. You know, because then I'll be able to keep the three arbor fields. I think we only have 3, don't we? Yeah, we do. We have 3, but you only ever start this Let's Play with 1 grass field. This is the map, sorry. So I've changed that. I bought another grass field just to help us along because it is. Because I was having a bit of a play on this map with only 1 grass field with Seasons mod, and you couldn't make enough to actually, you know, if you had a herd of 50, you couldn't make enough silage or grass fast enough for, you know, the thing. And that grass field needs to be fertilised, so we've got a lot of fertilisation to do. We've got all these fields, the 2 grass fields want it, so you know, we'll be really chucking it down. Yeah. Now we could have cultivated this. I have got a cultivator, but I decided against that because I didn't have enough time and I wanted to get episode 2 recorded because episode 1 did so well. Nearly 500 views on episode 1, so thank you. What are we doing on camera? I keep doing this. I keep starting a map like this, and then I'll talk about the previous map that was wrong. We're not stopping camera, don't worry. I like what I did for that episode. I actually enjoyed making that episode. I enjoyed making all the episodes, but I enjoyed making that one here in particular because you know, having the snow shovel and that, it was actually really fun to do. It was a lot different as well, actually moving snow. Of course it's only virtual snow, but yeah, it was still a lot different. I think we are going to get that bulldozer on both maps, this one and that one, because it's such a, I put it on my sort of test map that I have for testing mods and stuff, and put it on there, and it moves snow like a tank. It absolutely just pushes it. The only issue is though, because it's a bulldozer, the game thinks it's like a leveler thing, so it pushes it, and then the second you stop and lift it up, it just drops it all on the floor. So you end up with absolutely tons of snow in a massive pile. So what we'd have to do is, you know, push the snow and then push it into something. You know, push it. We couldn't leave it on the road. We have to push it into a field. So say if we did this little road that just runs down past field 29 and 30 here, we'd have to kind of clear to the gateway and push it in the gateway, because otherwise then you end up with a mass pile on the road, and you're just sort of defeating the point. I forgot to get some Pepsi up here. You know, my all-time favourite drink. But I actually have blackout blinds in my room. It is dark in here. I have my little lamp on. The only window that does not have a blind on yet is the main one in the middle, because that's a lot wider than the two side ones. But it's actually quite dark now, and it's actually nice because well, when I first moved into this house, when we first moved into the house, I had curtains in my room, but I never shut them. I only shut them when the sun was shining on the screen, and that was, you know, late in the afternoon. And half the time, most of the time, I would be outside. So I never used to shut them at night or anything, because they kind of help to get up. I know it sounds a bit odd, but I have an alarm, and then with the alarm, I let the sun, when I get up, the sun's kind of just coming up. So. But I set my alarm for 5:30, and then because I have to get to work I have to actually be in work for 7. You know, it sounds a bit weird setting it at 5:30, and then I've got to make all my lunch and all that. And I know people watching this going, yeah, I get up at like 4 or something. I know dairy farmers and that, and the actual farmers have times to get up, but I've done a few late nights on farms, and I've done a few really early starts, but you know, if you do it day in, day out, eventually your body just gets used to it. But I'm getting knackered. I'm getting mega tired, and all I do is drive. I just drive and cut grass. That's all I do, and I get mega tired. Whereas my friend Hayden, who's been in a few videos, he was in a lot committee video with me. Well, he was the person that owned the sheep and the pig farm there. He works on a dairy farm, and he's up at like 4 in the morning, you know, and he's younger than I am. So, you know. Right, anyway, we should stop talking about that. We will get into... I'm going to try and get into cows fairly quick on this map. That's why I've put the field of barley in, because we're going to make a field of hay bales and a field of silage bales in, because that's why I've got 2 fields. And then we should get the barley, and then all we've got to do really then is wait for the silage bales to become actual silage. Now, I don't know if Seasons Mod will tell you when they're silage, or you have to wait and find out. But I'll have to just read the forum again and whatever, and just try and find some information out, because I'm not too sure. I don't know if you have. I know you have to wait. I know it doesn't do it instantly. I know there's a bit of a time limit, but I don't know if it's half a season or an entire season. You have to wait before they become silage. I'll have a look. I might do a bit of a test on a different map, you know, just before we do it, so that we don't make them and realise, oh yeah, we only have to wait like half a season, when actually we've got to wait like an entire season. And then, you know, we have all these bales like that. But there is going to be a lot of stacking. That's kind of why I also want to get into doing silage, as in chopped grass, chaff and that, because it's less bales, so that means there's less stacking for us to do. Less stacking for you to watch, unless you like it, and everybody loves doing silage. There's nobody in this world that doesn't like it. Everybody fucking loves silage. You know, so we can do that. Somebody sent me some Donnelly, a herring, and something else, a red rock, that was it, a set of trailers. No, not, yeah, it was a Donnelly, I never remember what it's called. Cane. Is it cane? I should just quickly open the shop and I'll show you. So there's the herring. Oh, they're all herring. So that's a Donnelly herring. Cane. That's it. Cane's silage trailer. I've got a few others as well. We might use the Marston ones. I'm not too sure. Why have you stopped running? That's probably making a terrible noise in your eardrums. Oh, it's turned off. Oh, that's great. Just what I wanted, Tractor, for you to do is just turn off when I push the clutch down. Irritation. Right. Pause. This is what happens when you start talking and you don't concentrate on what the fuck you're doing. Right, wait there. Get out of reverse. Go to third. Hold the clutch in. In. Forward. Unfold. Do. Right, forward momentum. There we go. Get the last of this. 15 minutes road. Sorry, this has just been me seeding and talking, but I didn't seed that field. I seeded that field off screen, and that was the field I wanted to seed on screen. And then I realised I've only got one more field to seed. I didn't want to just sort of keep cutting. I didn't want to just keep cutting, you know, into stuff saying, "Oh, we're doing a bit of mowing now. Oh, we're doing a bit of this, bit of that." I wanted to show at least some bits of. Some of us actually working and doing something. But no, I hope you all do enjoy this Let's Play sort of series. It is the cheated series, you know, I have cheated all this equipment in, I did give myself $1 million. And then I gave myself 100,000 to start with, because the fields are massive. Well, they're fairly fair size, you know, there's a lot of seed, a lot of fertilizer is going to be needed. We're going to need a lot of money. A lot of equipment maintenance as well. That's the thing that's going to bite us. You know. All these tractors are about 18 days, and there's the Merlot, the John Deere, the other John Deere, the New Holland, this class, the other John Deere, combine. You know, there's a few bits. So they'll all have to go into the workshop and have maintenance done. I think that's pretty ridiculous how it says 18 days, because. You know, you don't. I understand basic maintenance. You know, you dip your oil in your water and make sure the washer bottles are full, and bits and bobs like that. But you know, that if you've dipped it on the dipstick and you've parked it on a concrete pad or something, and there's a big pool of oil underneath it, then you know not to start it. But if you park it on a concrete pad and there's no oil leak or anything like that, you know, personally I wouldn't dip it. If I'd parked it on a concrete pad and I didn't see any oil leak underneath, I wouldn't dip it. I'd just start it. But if I knew, if I dipped it the next day and it had used oil, and then the day before that, you know, it was down lower than it was the day before, and there was no oil leak on the pad, I'd dip it then just to make sure. But if I dipped it the one day and it was right up the dipstick and there was no oil coming out of it, there's no oil thing, I would just not dip it. But that's me personally. Someone will probably shout at me in the comments for saying that, but that's what I do personally. I mean the major, I always dip the major. I always dip its oil. Because I know it's got one or two little leaks that it likes to hide until you've got it warm and then they show their faces. I always dip the John Deere at work because she's a big girl, and well, she's not a big girl, she's only 115 horse, she's quite small. She's about yard tractor size. There it's a big machine, you know, it's the second biggest thing in the yard at Oliver, that John Deere, but I always dip it because expensive bit of kit, you know, and you don't want to be, you know, have a nickname or, you know, get shouted at. I don't really fancy getting shouted at for not dipping oil. Something that takes 5 seconds. I know you're supposed to dip, pull out, wipe it, and dip it again, but I dip it, and if there's oil on the stick, I'll just put it back in. Because, you know, in my eyes, if there's oil on the stick, there's oil in it, alright? And on the Major's dipstick, it has a line on the top and a line just a bit on below, and then in between that it says safe driving level. And I always dip it, and if it's in the safe driving level, I'll always just put it back in. Mainly because I do park it on a concrete pad, you know, with bits and bobs like that. I hardly ever park it on hills where it's an odd angle, you know, so all the oil runs to the one side of the sump. But anyway, why am I discussing oil and dipping properly with oil tractors? We've nearly finished this field. We're on 20 minutes already. God, you guys must be shit balls. If you're still watching, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate all the likes and comments and stuff. I read them at work as well when I'm on my breaks and stuff, on my lunch. I always read the comments. I always see how many likes and how many views and stuff like that, and see whether it's being enjoyed or not. I know the last vlog that I did was a bit higgledy-piggledy weird. You know, it was just me throwing wood at fire and then filming a bit of a shed. I will go into more depth. I will do a vlog with a tripod and not just me holding it, because this little stand that it's on now is like a stick stand, so I can stick it to the top of the bonnet or something of a tractor or a car, and it sticks like it's a stick pad thing. That's what I hold it with, because it just fits in the palm of your hand and you just cramp around it. So I might put it on the. I probably will put it on the tripod, because you know I can plonk it down and then do bits and pieces. But I've also got to change the water pump on the car. That's decided to leak out of the drive, where the actual pulley is. Just in there, there's like I think it's a seal. Not too sure. I haven't taken it to bits, but looking at it when I've got the car to pressure, temperature and that, and seeing where the leak is, it seems to be coming behind the pulley. So that either means there must be a seal, or underneath the pulley is either a crack or a seal or something that's gone. So I've got to do that. Of course. So I've also got to do. Why is it 2,000 RPM? There's no power in a seeder. It shouldn't need to be any RPM. It's not actually doing anything. There's no PTO. There's no nothing. Right, we'll change that back to wheat, because I'll probably forget and start planting a field full of soybean when I want it to be something else. So yeah, that's one thing I've got to do. Also, we've got to, of course, record Kendall Farm. I'm thinking, I know Hayden's going to love this, I'm thinking about starting map making. Not as in, you know, map making and then releasing it. Map making and making just a personal edit, like the one that I did for 15, the very last map that I pretty much did for 15, that was a total wreck and all shit. But you know, I like making maps, but I don't like being rushed making maps. You know, I made Bramshaw Farms and released it, but that thing was terrible. Honestly, I don't know if any of you ever downloaded it. It probably was the worst map ever created by a human being. It was terrible. All the textures used to flicker and everything. It was the very first map I ever did, and I was actually, when I finished it, I was really proud of it. But then I realised I hadn't finished it because there was loads of other things to do, because you never really finish a map, do you? So the next map I would probably do, I'd actually probably base it either on the house that I live in now, and then just sort of turn my house into a farm, but it's not actually a farm, this you probably all watch the vlogs know. Or do it on the dairy farm that's up the road, or do it on the very small dairy farm that's at the very end of my lane, which none of you have ever seen, I don't think. I haven't posted a vlog because I've never actually been down there to have a look at it. Right, let's put the seeder away in that shed. Have you seen that shed's all blue? So yeah, I'm thinking about doing it again. I just want to know, if I did do it again, would you want to see some videos on it? Because, you know, they probably wouldn't. They'd probably be a bit of a time-lapse thing, or failing that, they would probably be, you know, about 20 minutes. But we wouldn't get very much done in 20 minutes. If people have made maps before, will tell you that you don't get stuff done in about 20 minutes when you make a map. Right, we're on about 24 minutes. So yeah, we've got a nice canola field. But yeah, if you want to see me make a map, the thing with making maps that I have is getting the terrain right. We'll go put some fertilizer on a grass field, I think. Take the New Holland out for a bit. The thing I have is making grass fields, actually not grass fields, sorry, making farms and stuff like that. But I'm willing to give it another go. But if you want to see some videos, they won't be professional videos because, of course, I am not a professional. I can barely make a map. I could barely convert a map. I could barely do anything. But if you want to see some videos on it, then please either leave a like or just comment. You guys know what to do. What field should we go to? Well, we'll go to field 15. We're on about 25 minutes, so I might drive this over here, and then we'll do this in the next episode because we've got all the other fields to do. God, this fertilizer is heavy. 175 horsepower this tractor is, and we're in P2 gear 4. Now, I'm assuming P is a range, and I know G stands for gear. So we're in gear 4, which is probably not the top gear on a T7. T6, sorry. This is a T6 6-cylinder. She is a big girl. Yes, if you want to see some map making, please let me know. I will try and explain the best I can. I'll try to get it as close to real life as I can. By all means, it won't be perfect, and by all means, it probably won't be good. But I made a map for set 15, and I just want to make one for 17, just to say that I've done it. I need to go open that gate as well. Right, we'll take this over there, and then that'll do for this episode. We'll do this in the next one, which, by any luck, I shall render this one, and then go straight into the next one. And then for episode 4, we should have the... No, I don't know whether to record the course for this, but it doesn't come right to the edge, so we could technically plough this back up and come right to the edge with this, but it is a fair whack of a field, this field 15. It's huge. It's massive. The only issue is, though, we're not going to be able to get a right balance here, because we're going to get a few hay bales out of that one, and absolutely shitload of silage bales out of this one. Well, let's go turn that tractor off. So we'll have to kind of make a decision on what we... This thing does have ICs. I wanted to open the back window, which you probably wouldn't do when your fertilizer spreading. Right, so anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed, subscribe for more today, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Happy farming, and goodbye.